Oh, I love it so much. Hannah Harris and John Warstler. You guys, that was amazing. 6 days away from, of course, the big St. Patrick's Day. But man, anytime I can hear some Irish jig music, I'm excited. Hannah, thank you so much for being with us today. How are you?
Good. How are you?
It's great to see you. And John, thank you so much for joining.
Sure.
I know you guys had kind of taken a trip from Petoskey, north of Traverse City, all the way here this morning. So thank you so much for being with us.
Absolutely.
So Hannah, you are obviously a pretty good fiddle player.
Oh, thank you.
And you've been doing this for a long time. Are you classically trained in the violin?
I am classically trained. I've been playing since I was 5, and then sort of transitioned over more seriously into fiddle music about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So classically trained in the violin since you were 5 years old. You know, sometimes people, make their way naturally over to the fiddle.
Yeah.
But is this always something that you wanted to do, or do you have classical friends that are going, "What are you doing, Hannah?"
Yeah, probably. They haven't told me so to my face, but I think from my early days, probably since I was 8, maybe I was ever since I watched Celtic Women, that really got me into like the 6-inch heels and dancing around the stage, which obviously I don't really do any of that now, but I got into more of the Irish tradition just over the years.
Now, you were born and raised in North Carolina, is that right?
Yes, I'm a Charlotte native.
Charlotte native, and you found your way to Northern Michigan. What brought you to Northern Michigan?
Well, my grandparents own a cottage in Bayview, so we would come up every summer. And then I saw that there was a Celtic shop downtown in Petoskey, and my dad is kind of acting as my manager, asked the owner if I could ever play tunes out on the front porch there.
Yeah.
And he said, the owner, he said, you could, but you could also just come work for me and play out there. So I work at the Celtic shop now.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, so it's kind of a nice way to round out all my interests. And,
all right.
Yeah.
And John, you play guitar, and you play it very, very well. John, how did you find yourself joining a trio? I know you have another member of this trio, but kind of into this traditional Irish music.
Well, I've been playing this style of music for probably 30 or 40 years. I found out that Hannah was in town, and we got together.
Yeah. And that was as simple as that. And you
Yeah.
have a third member of your trio. Who is missing today?
We're missing Rick Willie. He's from Traverse City, though.
Okay,
So.
Rick from Traverse City.
Yeah.
And you guys, obviously I'm sure in March you get pretty busy, right around St. Patrick's Day, but you have gigs all around, the year, I'm sure. And you do solo things and other projects as well. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, John, are you from the Petoskey area, or are you a transplant?
I live in a little place called Horton Bay.
Horton Bay. Okay.
Just outside of Boyne.
All right. So in the same kind of neck of the woods area,
Yes.
but you've always been in northern Michigan?
I was born in St. John's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a speech pathologist, or was.
Okay.
We moved to Wisconsin when the license plates, or I should say the bumper stickers started to say the last person to leave the state, please turn out the lights.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So we lived in Wisconsin for 15 years, but now I'm back. I've been back for 23 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in the Midwest primarily then.
Yes.
And Hannah, you've also lived, growing up in North Carolina, summering here in northern Michigan, and then you spent some time in Ireland. Is that right?
I did, yes. I got my master's degree over there in Cork, so I seem to have an affinity for the Deep South no matter what country I'm in. So North Carolina and Georgia, and then Cork in the south of Ireland.
When you say you got your master's degree in Cork, is this in fine arts and in playing music?
It's ethnomusicology, so it's a mix of music and anthropology, pretty much, which is what I double majored in undergrad. I went to Furman University in South Carolina, so I just wanted to combine the two, and I wanted to immerse myself in the music over there, and of course go to all the late night pub sessions and meet the musicians there.
Ethnomusicology. We spoke to another gentleman that lives in the Petoskey area that is kind of was doing the same sort of thing.
Oh, really?
Greg Vednai.
Okay.
Who is also in, not originally from northern Michigan, but finding his roots in ethnomusicology and working with things primarily out of like South Africa,
awesome.
working with different percussive instruments. But that's fascinating. So with a degree in ethnomusicology, what do you do with that degree? You play the fiddle, right?
Yeah, you play the fiddle. You can do a lot of research-based things. You can teach. Since I have the master's degree, I'm qualified to teach at a college, depending on what school it is. I don't do any of that at the moment, but I am open to the possibility. And then, I don't know, you just kind of, it's almost like a different mindset instead of job training necessarily.
So when I think about music, I've always thought that music is so rooted in where we came from, and you mentioned a couple of places that you've lived and grown up, and there's some very definitive Southern music. There's obviously the Irish traditional music that people feel is so important to them, no matter where they are in their life. And do you agree with that?
Definitely, yeah. I think that a lot of people that maybe have ancestry back in Ireland or Scotland, and a lot of people come over through Canada, so there's some crossover with the music there. And with my family, they came down to Michigan from Canada, so it's like all these different routes. I feel like I'm going back up the trail in a way.
And John, do you have Irish ancestry? Do you have a connection to Irish music, or do you just love it?
I really don't think I do, but I like all sorts of music.
Yeah. Well,
especially the ethnic types of music.
that is, I have some, Irish ancestry, thankfully now understanding that because of sites like Ancestry.com and things that you can go, oh yeah, that's where it comes from. But there is something strange, and I don't know, Carol, maybe you're the same way. When I hear Irish music, I think everybody does this. You have to, stomp your feet.
I was tapping my
dance.
foot in here.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, it's just it's toe tapping. You kind of want to move a little.
There's just something that you want to do with that, and so everybody gets to be Irish for at least one day a year, right?
Yeah, you actually have to clap along. The musicians kind of require it. It helps keep us going.
It does. So, was there a way, Hannah? Can you explain the foray, the trying to go from classically trained to Irish, and I see you guys kind of talking with your eyes to each other, to try to figure out where you're ending things versus when you're classically trained violinist, you just go by the script of your sheet music, right?
Yeah, and even in classical music, there's a lot of communication between sections in an orchestra. I'd say it's closest to being in a quartet setting because you definitely have to follow one another and keep up with the music. But I have a lot of blog posts on my website that kind of deal more with the classical to Irish transition.
Yeah, it's actually called Fiddle Forays,
Yep,
right?
Fiddle Forays, yep.
Fiddle Forays, and you can find it Hannah Harris, CEOL.
And that's pronounced Ceol. It means music in the Irish language.
That's perfect. Hannah Harris, CEOL.com if you want to find out more. Now, where are you guys going to be this weekend as far as gigs go?
We'll be in Petoskey. We're playing at Beard's Brewery on St. Patrick's Day from 6 to 9.
And that's on the Sunday?
Yep, that's on the Sunday.
Okay.
John, do you have other gigs this weekend?
I do not.
Okay, I have another one on Saturday in Elk Rapids.
Where in Elk Rapids?
Town Line Cider Works.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to play with them from 6 to 8 with another guitar player in the area, Bill Wilson. He's up in Petoskey. Yeah, so he's a great fingerstyle guitar player, and he's been showing some interest in learning more Irish music, so I was really happy to have the chance to collaborate and go back and forth and learn new things.
Well, John, it's great to see you and meet you. And Hannah Harris, fiddler, singer, music blogger, all things Celtic.
Pretty much.
You love it all. You have another song you're going to play for us, guys. Can you introduce this one, Hannah?
Sure. This is a song from West Cork, so right around the region that I studied. It's by John Spillane, and it's called Passage West. And Passage West is actually located in East Cork. So.
Okay. Well, here we go. It's the Hannah Harris Trio here, -1, and you can see them actually in Petoskey at Beard's Brewery on Sunday, March the 17th. Also, you can see Hannah 6 p.m. until 9 p.m. in Elk Rapids at the Town Line Cider Works. All right, take it away.
Thank you. West, the sun was sinking down to rest. The river to the stars confessed 'twas a dark-haired woman I loved best. We wandered down by the chapel square, and there was magic in the air, and Mother Nature gently pressed the burning river to her breast. I offered her a golden ring, my hand, my heart, and everything. I offered her a sweet love nest by the flowing banks of Passage West. Oh, love, where you go, where you go, where you go? Oh, love, will you stay, will you stay, will you stay? Oh, love, will you go, will you go, will you go? Oh, love, will you stay, will you stay, will you stay? We watch the ferry come and go. We watch the river ebb and flow. The tide breathe in and the tide breathe out. We watch the passage flowers grow. The ghostly forms of the hungry years in sad procession did appear, with hope and sorrow made their way through Passage West to a merry cave. Oh, love, will you go, will you go, will you go? Oh, love, will you stay, will you stay, will you stay? Oh, love, will you go, will you go, will you go? Oh, love, will you stay, will you stay, will you stay?
Hannah Harris, John Warstler, don't miss this. You guys are phenomenal. What a beautiful voice, beautiful music. The Hannah Harris Trio performing at the Petoskey Beards Brewery on St. Patrick's Day. Check them out. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.